Living Well with LDS Hospital.
This time of year can be so hard for so many people, lots of families that are suffering from dysfunctional issues of all sorts. We are so happy to have Adam Hornung here from LDS Hospital, and we're talking about what we can do to kind of ease the stress of the holidays and what comes along with that with family. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so many people are like, okay, sitting up straight, ready to pay attention, but you have some tips for us, right?
Yeah, I think it's important that, when holidays come around, things get a little different. I think routines kind of get compromised a little bit. Stress is higher. We're probably around more people. And so it's important to have a plan, I think, to make sure that we enjoy things.
Absolutely. Well, and Utah is one of the highest rated for mental illness in the nation, which is shocking, but it just means so many of us can relate to this topic.
So I think it's important to remember, and that's one of the things we'll go over, that it's likely if you're around a big table that somebody's dealing with something around that table. And so we just want to be sensitive to that and all the hustle of the holidays, that we don't forget about the people that we're spending the time with.
I love that, Adam. Okay, so the first one that you said is don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, I think it's important to make sure that, when you're getting ready and going places, that the little stuff really isn't going to matter a whole lot. And so particularly with people, I think when you get stressed, you might have a little quicker trigger on being annoyed or things like that. So I think don't sweat the small stuff is, if there's bad feelings out there with people that you're going to be spending the holidays with, that you can acknowledge that, they rub you the wrong way and not give any room for that to grow.
Right.
So I think that's when we get in trouble, is when one thing gets us a little bothered, and then everything gets us bothered, and then we have a bad day.
Well, and that's what I think, and that's what happens this time of year, is everything's so heightened. We're always in a rush going places, and even like I found myself just yesterday with my daughter being a little bit more, snapping a little bit more than I ever have. And it's like, gosh, what is that? But it's that, it happens this time of year, but don't sweat the small stuff. I love that. Okay, the next one is to set healthy boundaries.
Yeah, so I think, throughout the rest of the year, we set boundaries on what we're willing to do and not willing to do, and things we're okay with and things we're not okay with. And we just want to make sure that we can continue to do that over the holidays. I think there's no reason to feel like you can't be the same person during the holidays that you are for the rest of the year. And if you need to set some boundaries, you can do that.
One thing that I read was how important it was to, before Thanksgiving dinner, set the boundaries of, like, these are the things we're not talking about. We're not talking about the election. We're not talking about, and set those clear boundaries before people even get to your home. So that it's just understood and established. So I think that's so important. The next one is be sensitive to those around you.
Yeah, I think what I want to make sure people understand is, when you talk about Utah having a high prevalence of depression, anxiety, things like that, if you're around a big table, there's probably a couple of people that are dealing with something. And so I think during the stress of the holidays, it's important that you have time and room to look outside of kind of what stress is to you, and have an eye for somebody that may be struggling with something, and make it a point to have a conversation with them.
Well, it's hard, especially when you don't see family all the time. And then you see them again, and you're kind of setting yourself up for, okay, I know this brother's little this or that, but you're saying come at it from being more sensitive and compassionate. And
because I think if you think about big holiday gatherings, and a lot of times people get excited about that. When you're struggling with something, that's tough. To be around big crowds, even if it's your family.
That's so true. Okay, and then the last one is have realistic expectations.
Yeah, I think it's important to make sure that we understand you know your family better than anybody else, good, bad, and chances are, if you knew everybody as well as you know your family, you're going to get bothered by something. And so it really is at some point a choice to make sure that you have a balanced view. So if there are people that you just kind of clash with, they have a lot of good traits about them as well. That's not to say, though, if you find yourself in an emotionally abusive situation, something like that, that you have to stay and be part of that. But just make sure you have a rounded view of what's going on with everybody, good and bad.
great tips, Adam. Thank you so much. Adam is the Director of Behavioral Health Services over at LDS Hospital. And if you have any questions, want to sit down and have a consultation or anything, all the information is on your screen. This is a great time of year to be thinking about our mental health. So thank you so much, Adam. All right. What's coming up later, Bri?
Well, coming up in the kitchen, it's time for lots of pasta. That's right.